Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives, and breaking alerts. Liverpool's summer transfer blunder identified with Arne Slot paying the price. Liverpool spent huge sums in the summer transfer market and bought in several new players, throwing them in from minute one, which has backfired in what has been a difficult season. Ex-Liverpool star Joe Cole admits that Arne Slot's desire to throw in all his new signings from day one of the new season did backfire, and he should have drip-fed them in with the balance of the team suffering. The Reds kicked off the campaign on a Friday night against Bournemouth and were heavily tipped to retain their title come May. The champions had spent huge sums in the summer, twice breaking the British transfer record, and wasted no time in introducing their new players. Slot named more than £200 million of new talent in their starting side, with Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez occupying the two fullbacks' berths. Florian Wirtz came in as the team's playmaker, with Hugo Ekitike leading the line. The Frenchman would score in the first half against Bournemouth, backing up the goal he had scored in the Community Shield. But whilst he enjoyed a stellar start to his Anfield career, others did not follow, and Wirtz's early struggles were well documented, with his contributions in the final third particularly low. Liverpool surrendered a 2-goal lead that night to the Cherries before scoring twice late on to claim victory, but the early warning signs that would later haunt them were there. Cole told the Mirror, "I think they recognised the age of the squad was getting on. I think they were right in recruiting when they were at the top. The mistake I think they made was starting with 4 new players at the start of the season. The first time in Premier League history that a champion has started with 4 new players. So I think it was the right thing to recruit, but maybe with hindsight they'd have gone, we shouldn't have started them all, maybe drip feed them in." Slot was happy to change a winning formula, but Wirtz, a conventional playmaker, was put into the team, which led to subtle tweaks which left the team off kilter. "Balance in midfield is crucial. Sometimes it's not the best players that should play," said Cole. "I think McAllister is different to Wirtz. Even though they both be classed as 10s, McAllister would be more comfortable playing deep. So that helped with the balance, and that's the manager's job. I'd have kept the midfield 3 at the start of the season, that style, and bought Wirtz on when games were opening up. I've never managed a game in my life, but I think the balance of the midfield from the start of the season has been a little bit off." In another news, Fabrizio Romano reveals Jurgen Klopp to Real Madrid. Truths as agent names one job that will tempt him next. Jurgen Klopp's agent has revealed the only job which will likely now tempt the German back into mainstream football management after Fabrizio Romano cut through the speculation linking the Liverpool icon with the Real Madrid vacancy. The 58-year-old is regarded as one of the Merseyside club's greatest ever managers, having helped them win 7 major honours across his 9 years at the helm, a total which would have been infinitely higher had he not gone head-to-head with a Manchester City side who were also in their pomp under Pep Guardiola. Having left Liverpool in the summer of 2024, Klopp is still pined for by the Anfield masses, and there would be a clamour to have him reinstalled as manager should the stars ever align. However, in recent times it is the Real Madrid job for which the German has been most strongly linked to. The Spanish giants are under the interim charge of Alvaro Arbeloa and will be seeking a high-caliber replacement this summer to the sacked Xabi Alonso. While talk of a third Bernabeu stint for Carlo Ancelotti has now faded, with the Italian poised to sign an extension with the Brazilian FF, reports over a move to the Spanish capital for Klopp have started to gather serious momentum. Despite that, Romano insists a move to the Bernabeu looks unlikely for the iconic manager, who seems to be enjoying his relatively stress-free role as global head of football for the Red Bull Group. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Romano stated, "Recent comments from the agent of Jurgen Klopp suggested that both Manchester United and Chelsea made approaches when Klopp announced his departure from Liverpool. However, both clubs have firmly denied any advanced or concrete discussions. Klopp was very clear publicly that he wanted time away from management after many intense years at Liverpool. He remains fully committed to his role within the Red Bull project. Regarding Real Madrid, there is admiration for Klopp from certain figures within the board, but at this stage, there are no direct negotiations or formal steps. While Romano is playing down the prospects of Klopp returning to frontline management, his agent has revealed there is one job that could tempt him, while also revealing the two jobs that could have tempted him before he took up his role with the Red Bull Group. Jurgen Klopp agent opens up on Liverpool icon's next possible job. Indeed, while Klopp turned down an approach to become Germany manager before, the offer coming in 2023, 1 year before he left Anfield, his agent has admitted he would be hard-pressed to reject an offer again if presented to him down the line. Jurgen feels very connected to this country. The question doesn't even arise at the moment, agent Mark Kosika told Transfermarkt. I don't think he feels he has to do it at least once. Rather, he feels a sense of obligation that he couldn't always say no to the job. With Julian Nagelsmann's contract with Germany running to 2028, Klopp could get that opportunity within a couple of years. In the meantime, Kosika has also revealed the two jobs that could have tempted Klopp prior to his appointment with Red Bull. Before joining Red Bull, Jurgen could have coached the USA or England, Kosika added. Probably Germany too, if Julian Nagelsmann hadn't already been there. Even Chelsea and Manchester United inquired. Although Jurgen had clearly stated that he would not coach any other club in England, these inquiries haven't stopped. Asked if Klopp would feel his career was not complete unless he managed his country, Kosik continued. Jurgen said relatively early on that he could have been a fantastic coach without ever having managed Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. He desperately wanted to win the Champions League, but he didn't think winning it 3 times would make him any better or happier. He's incredibly happy with what he's achieved, and it's still wonderful to go down in history as one of the few coaches who only managed 3 clubs and were never fired. Real hold genuine Szoboszlai interest. Liverpool, £87 million Salah heir. Meanwhile, with or without Klopp as their manager, sources have confirmed that Real Madrid hold a genuine interest in signing Dominik Szoboszlai this summer. The Hungary international has scored 10 goals and provided 7 assists in 35 appearances across all competitions so far this season, performing well for Liverpool despite their topsy-turvy season, and looking well on course to be named as the club's player of the season. It's no surprise that Real Madrid are admirers, but as we revealed in an update on Tuesday, Liverpool are advancing in contract talks with the attacking midfielder, and in any case have no intention whatsoever of selling him this summer. The Reds are ready to match Szoboszlai's £250,000 per week wage demands, and the new deal will tie down Szoboszlai's future for the long term, which would come as a fatal blow to Real Madrid's hopes of signing him. Elsewhere at Anfield, Liverpool are increasingly likely to target a summer move for Yan Diomande, 4 sources now confirm, with the RB Leipzig star now seen as the ideal replacement for Mohamed Salah, and with the Reds learning how the 19-year-old's asking price could yet tumble from its current €100 million price point. In other news, Manchester United have reportedly emerged as favourites to sign a player recently farmed out by Real Madrid, while our sources have already revealed the 3 other Premier League clubs to make fresh inquiries for the striker. In another news, X-Man, UT'd, and Liverpool youngster among 4 suspected of attempted murder after shooting Patrick Lacey, who was part of both the Manchester United and Liverpool academy, is among 4 names connected to a shooting that left a man with a serious injury to his legs. A former footballer and 3 others have been charged with attempted murder following the shooting of a man on a driveway in Huyton, Liverpool. A man in his 20s was rushed to the hospital in a critical condition after being shot in the leg on Friday, November 28th. The victim reportedly was shot twice at an address on Radway Road by 2 men on a Suron bike. On Thursday, February 19th, warrants were carried out across Knowlesy, Sefton and Liverpool, resulting in 4 people being arrested. Former Accrington Stanley midfielder and boxer Patrick Sean Lacey, 32, of Manor Avenue, Crosby, has now been charged with attempted murder, conspiracy to murder, possession of a shotgun and ammunition with intent to endanger life, Section 18 GBH, and conspiracy to cause GBH. Johan Aaron Jones, 35, of Stamfordham Drive, Allerton, John George Patrick Hughes, 31, of No Fixed Abode, and Bernard Flynn, 61, of Knowsley Road, Bottle, have also been charged with the same offences. All 4 men are due to appear at Liverpool, Knowsley, Sefton and St Helens Adult Remand Court this morning, Friday, February 20th. Lacey played for Manchester United and Liverpool during his academy days after beginning his career with Tranmere Rovers. He went on to feature for the likes of Chester, Altrincham, Barrow, Accrington Stanley and Southport, with his most recent team believed to have been Flint Town. During his football career, Lacey also fought professionally as a boxer, going 10-1. In February this year, he lost on points to Jack Swallow. Detective Inspector Chris Clark from Merseyside Police's Firearms Investigation Team said, "These coordinated warrants were carried out as part of an ongoing investigation, and all 4 men will appear in court today. Our work continues, so I would ask that people who have yet to come forward still do so. Please do not assume that we already hold information. Our team will make that assessment and will take the appropriate action. Whether you have a first-hand account, dashcam, CCTV, doorbell or other footage, come forward." In another news, Liverpool manager wouldn't play me after I punched him in face. I had to leave. A former Liverpool ace punched his manager in the face following an FA Cup clash, and he never played for the club again. Former Liverpool defender Joey Jones didn't mean any harm when he accidentally punched club icon Bob Paisley in the face. However, the late ex-Reds star was convinced his unintentional altercation with Anfield royalty played a significant role in his departure. Former Wales defender Jones, who made the move to Liverpool from Wrexham in 1975, was sidelined after Paisley promoted players like Alan Hansen and Tommy Smith. The renowned hardman had already bagged 2 First Division titles, 2 European Cups, and a UEFA Cup before finding himself slipping down the ranks. Former Wales defender Jones, who made the move to Liverpool from Wrexham in 1975, was sidelined after Paisley promoted players like Alan Hansen and Tommy Smith. The renowned hardman had already bagged 2 First Division titles, 2 European Cups and a UEFA Cup before finding himself slipping down the ranks. "I punched him, that's what I did," he once told LFC History. "It was accidental. I loved him like a father. It was a complete accident, but I didn't play for Liverpool after that." It was at Chelsea, an FA Cup tie. I had been switched to right back to mark Clive Walker. They thought I could mark wingers better than Phil Neal. We got battered at Chelsea. I hadn't had a good game anyway. Clive Walker scored 2. You can still see it on YouTube. I felt I was no worse than anybody else. I was always really critical of my own performance, maybe too critical. I didn't feel I was any worse than anyone else on this particular day, but I got substituted. I remember the boss, Bob Paisley, throwing the tracksuit at me, "Put that on." Obviously, I was agitated and sweaty and had a few problems getting it on. I couldn't get my head all through the neck. As I was sitting there struggling, then all of a sudden my hand went straight through the sleeve and I felt my fist hit somebody's flesh. As my head came through, I could see the boss rubbing his face. To this day, I don't know if it is whether I punched him in the face or played cap that I never played for Liverpool again after that. The following season, I left. Jones, who earned 72 caps for Wales, made his way back to Wrexham later that year in a record-breaking £210,000 deal. Astonishingly, that figure stood as the Championship side's highest transfer purchase for nearly 50 years, until Ollie Palmer arrived from AFC Wimbledon in a £300,000 move in 2022. He remained in his homeland for another 4 years before making his return to England's top division with Chelsea in 1982. Jones, who died aged 70 last July, subsequently signed for Huddersfield Town before completing one final chapter with his cherished Wrexham, where he hung up his boots in 1992. As it happens, striking Paisley directly in the face might not have been the sole incident that sealed Jones's departure from Anfield. He also became embroiled in a confrontation with teammate Ray Kennedy after accidentally stepping on his foot while shadowboxing, leaving their manager far from impressed. "I hit him, Kennedy, twice, and we end up in this brawl," Jones recalled. "I remember Bob Paisley saying, 'Both of you can leave the club.' Obviously he thought more of Ray than me because it was me who left," laughs.